We back again. So a lot of the videos that we posted this week talked about fasting. You say, Charlize, I don't understand. I don't really understand why. I don't understand how, who, what, where, when, and how. The five W's or the five, what is it? Yeah, the five W's. You remember in elementary school? I don't know about y'all, but we used to have like a PWC chart, a pig chart. It was like a PWC, and we used to have to ask who, what, where, what would you like to learn? How would you like to learn it? Why? That situation. I don't know. That was a Baltimore County school system. But anywho, let's get into the points of this video on today. How do I fast? What does that look like? First things first, I want you to do your own research on fasting and why people fasted in the Bible days and how they did it and what was the byproduct and what happened when they fasted. You can just simply type in your search scriptures on fasting and go ahead and read those, and you'll be able to kind of dissect for yourself. What situations did people fast and what was the results? Why did they do it? So do that for yourself. But also now let me just kind of flip through, how do you do it? I want you to also understand that fasting is only done with food. Fasting is only done with food. Fasting is only done with food. Fasting is done with food. Fasting you cannot fast from social media. You cannot fast from talking on the phone. You cannot fast from watching certain shows. That might be under the category of consecration. When you consecrate yourself, when you forego certain activities, when you consecrate and you just kind of be in the presence of the Lord and you just kind of be very intentional about that. But you cannot fast from social media. You cannot fast from talking on the phone. Like, that's not a fast. Fast is food. And so I think a lot of times we get caught up and we say, "Oh, I fasted from social media," and you may not receive the full power of what you were supposed to receive because you didn't fast food. There's power in food. There's a humility when you humble yourself on the mighty hand of God, He will exalt you. Fasting brings a level of humility when you're humbling yourself, when you're foregoing what your body, your flesh desires, what your flesh needs in exchange for the power of God, right? And so, in exchange for just being intimate to receive the intimacy of God. And so that's what happens. There's a level, y'all, when you don't eat, you understand, people get so hangry. You understand? Because our bodies were really not this. I'm not saying don't eat ever, but what I am saying is there's a level of humbleness that happens when you literally do not eat, when you don't feed that area. And a lot of times when you look at the scripture too, and it talks about sin and different things like that, they liken it uh to food, to feeding your body. So I think that's so powerful. I think that is so powerful. And so when you fast, you're fasting with food. And so now you can set up, a time per day. So when I first started fasting, what I would do 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I would just do water. I would do straight water. Now some people do, they don't do like meats or anything like that. But I think there's such an amazing power when you don't like eat at all and you just kind of like really kind of humble yourself in that way. I lost so much weight. I lost so much physical weight. People looking at me like, "Girl, you so skinny." You lose physical weight and you also lose spiritual weight. There's a closeness you start to receive. There's certain answers that you will start to see. There's certain things that you start to see. And read the story of Daniel. Daniel, when he fasted, it said, when you set your heart to fast, the answer was to come. The answer was already set to come when you first set your heart to fast. And so he fasted. So fasting he did with food. And so some people say, they may not do meat, they might do berries and stuff like that. But I know for me that what has worked for me tremendously is when I fasted and I just did like water from like 6 to 6 or 5 to 5 and do prayer. You also have to put in the element of prayer while you're being in communication with God as you fast, because if you don't talk to God, it's just like it's a diet, right? You're just not eating. And so when you fast, you want to be able to talk to God, commune with God, play your worship music. If you're at work, just maybe see if you can put some like type of worship music, put the word, or just take your breaks and really kind of go pray. And as you fast, and that's going to be powerful. That's going to be so powerful. So you can set up your time 6 to 6, 5 to 5. Um, some people, depends on the measure and the desire and the need. Some people will go, a good 3 days dry fast. Some people go 3 days wet fast and just do water. Some people do like a 21-day fast, 6 to 6 when the sun sets. So just kind of seek God about what He will want you to do. Maybe when you're first starting out, maybe you do one day where you do it until you say you fast until lunchtime. Start there and do that couple days and be really intentional about your prayer and communication with God during that time. And then you can kind of increase it. You can say, you know what? Okay, I did the 6 to 12. I did it up until lunchtime. Maybe I can do it up until dinner time now. You know. So start somewhere. I definitely recommend that. We as Christians need a lifestyle of prayer and fasting. And when you go back and you look through your history for yourself, people would pray like cities, and they would join together and do a corporate fast. That's really powerful. There's another level of agreement. There's power in agreement. So can you imagine the power of agreement with a fast? Whew. So if you know your church is doing like a 21-day corporate fast, you might want to do it this time and really commit this time, because there's such a power in agreement and there's such a power at fasting. That's like, whew, that's really something powerful. You look in the Bible, when cities and regions fasted, like things were overturned, answers were provided for sister cities. And when you think about Esther and the story of Esther, she petitioned a fast for her people, and you can see. I'm not gonna tell you though. Some of y'all know the story of Esther, but go and read the story of Esther. Go and read the story of Esther. All right. Okay. I love y'all. Power. There's so much power. Sorry, that distracted me, you guys. Sorry about that. But there's so much power in fasting, and so when you fast, there's some things that's gonna be broken off of your life. All right. I love you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye.